Louisiana has been broken before, by storms, by systems, by division. But it's been unified before too. I vividly remember it being unified by football. The 2005 LSU season. The Steve Gleason block punt in the Dome in '06. It's a moment that pulled an entire state into the same heartbeat. And when Louisiana finally aligns like that, it becomes something nobody wants to deal with. And that's why this moment right here, it feels different. But that's why this journey matters more. And I know for the last week, y'all have been hearing me talk about the energy and the unification of Louisiana, and I kind of want to explore that right now. Because when you look at Lane Kiffin and what makes this moment important, it's not just about football. It's about the journey. And Lane's career is a reminder that failure doesn't disqualify you. It educates you. See, Lane Kiffin rose faster than almost anyone in modern football. And I know you guys have all heard this story before. But let's revisit it. He was a sharp offensive mind with famous bloodlines. He was seen early as the next big thing, innovative, confident, and unafraid. And opportunities actually chased him. And at 31 years old, he became the youngest head coach in modern NFL history with the Raiders. Tennessee handed him the keys to an SEC program. USC followed, trusting potential over experience. And the problem wasn't talent, it was the timing. The authority came before scars. Confidence came before accountability. And the rise he had masked the things that hadn't formed yet. Then came the moments that nearly defined him permanently. The abrupt Tennessee exit, late night. The infamous firing on the tarmac at USC. Those weren't just professional failures. They were public humiliations. In a sport that rarely forgets, Kiffin became a punchline. He was labeled with the immature tag, unreliable, more hype than substance. Most coaches never recover from that kind of branding. Many of them harden. A lot of them deflect, and some even disappear. But Lane didn't. And instead of chasing another headline job, he did something rare. He became a student again. He went to learn. He went to Alabama, not as a prodigy, but as an assistant. And he submitted himself to structure. Under the GOAT, Nick Saban, he learned what elite process actually looks like. Not just scheme, but discipline. Not just creativity, but consistency. He learned how to manage ego, how to lead grown men, how to communicate without posturing, and how to adapt weekly instead of forcing systems onto players who don't fit. See, that stop matters a lot more than what we think. We all know it was important, but it was bigger than anything. It was a turning point. It recalibrated him. Then came Florida Atlantic, and this is where his personal and professional rebuild became real. FAU wasn't a glamour job. It was a proof of concept. He took over a program that had won just 9 games over the previous 3 seasons, and admittedly immediately raised the standard. FAU won Conference USA in 2017 and then again in 2019. That second title mattered most. It proved the success wasn't accidental. It was repeatable. The differences were clear. The offense was still creative, but now it's flexible. The confidence was still there, but now it's grounded. He connected with players. Instead of controlling them, he sold belief without relying on logos and brands. That's why the school in Oxford was willing to give him a chance. They weren't betting on the prodigy. They were betting on the version shaped by failure. Alabama showing structure, FAU proving he can build and sustain. And the rebuild wasn't only professional, like I said before. There was a documentary that came out through ESPN, and it talked about the many lives of Lane Kiffin. And he openly addresses his sobriety and the internal work that paralleled his coaching growth. That matters, because stability off the field changes leadership on it. This wasn't just a better coach. It was a more grounded man, more honest, more self-aware. And see, we in Louisiana, we understand resilience because we've had our practice in it. Not just against storms, but against history. This is a state still carrying the weight of deep cultural scars. Generational poverty, racial divides, political distrust, uneven opportunity in communities that have been too often been asked to endure instead of being invested in. There are places here where progress has come slower, where promises have been broken, and where people learned long ago to be skeptical before they believe. Add to that the physical trauma. Katrina, Rita, Gustav, Laura, Ida. Disasters that didn't just destroy homes, but exposed cracks in systems, leaderships, and trust. Storm after storm taught people a hard lesson. Help doesn't always come fast, and sometimes it doesn't come at all. So Louisiana learned to rely on itself. That history matters. Because when a place has been failed, culturally, structurally, emotionally, it doesn't respond to slogans. It responds to proof. It responds to people who understand damage, accountability, and rebuilding. That's why Louisiana respects people who take their lumps, own them, and come back stronger and sharper. Lane Kiffin didn't erase his failures. He absorbed them. He didn't reinvent himself by pretending the past never happened. He rebuilt himself by learning from it. No matter what anybody may tell you, you're seeing the results of that. That mirrors Louisiana's own rhythm. Assess the damage, accept the reality, and rebuild smarter. That's why players listen to him now. That's why fans feel authenticity when he speaks. That's why his presence resonates beyond just the football program. Because Louisiana isn't looking for perfection, because God knows we are far from it. It's looking for alignment. LSU doesn't need saving. It needs alignment. And I know we thought we had that with the previous administration because that's what they kept preaching to us. But that wasn't the case. You have to have the administration, the coaching, NIL, players, and fans all moving in the same direction. And LSU is uniquely positioned to capitalize on that alignment in a way no other university in any state can, because it stands alone. There is no in-state peer siphoning elite talent. No divided loyalties at the highest level. When Louisiana produces elite football players, and it always has, LSU sits at the center of that pipeline by default, because LSU is the only Power 4 program in the state. When LSU is aligned, Louisiana's talent doesn't scatter, it concentrates. When the program is unified, the state's best players don't have to choose between home and opportunity. LSU becomes both. That's an advantage no scheme can replicate. Alignment matters here more than most places, because division has always been the easiest way to keep Louisiana from reaching its ceiling. Cultural divides, regional divides, old ways versus new realities. When those forces pull against each other, nothing moves forward. Kiffin represents modern alignment. Not because he's flawless, if anything, it's the opposite, but because he understands the cost of getting it wrong. He embraces today's realities instead of fighting them. He speaks plainly instead of hiding behind tradition. He understands that belief is just as powerful as talent, and Louisiana knows belief matters. Belief is what gets rebuilt when the lights go out. when the living rooms are flooded, when the roofs have been blown off your home. Belief is what holds communities together when the storm passes and the work begins. Unification doesn't come from promises. It comes from trust. And trust comes from growth. That's why the idea of Lane Kiffin, whether literal or symbolic, has power in Louisiana right now. It represents a program and a state moving forward together, not pretending the past didn't happen, but using it to build something stronger, more unified, and more dangerous than what stood before. So to you, Coach, I tell you thank you for choosing LSU, for embracing Louisiana, and for continuing to fight to better yourself, to become the man that you are today. And to Tiger Nation, it's time for us to rally and really show the rest of the college football world what Louisiana has really been holding back. Go Tigers.